parents are on the program. What I want to ask you is, you said that you and Utkarsh couldn't talk about this for several years, right? Living in secret, what kind of feeling does that evoke? Does it evoke guilt? Does it evoke shame, even though your rational mind is telling you that there's nothing to be ashamed of? I want you to speak a little bit about what you went through. And when was the first time that you, Kotya, and then I'll ask Utkarsh the same question because his sister's here. When was the first time that you could tell your parents, and how did they react at first? Kotya?
Um, yeah, so I think it was. Uh, I think the one thing that I remember about being in sort of hiding or not telling anyone was that we just really wanted people to be happy for us. It's not easy to find a partner who you think is there for life. And I think it was whenever we would hang out with our friends, we'd hang out as best friends, not as partners. And in fact, the
Yeah.
most public that we've ever obviously gone with this is the petition. So when we were in Delhi in December last year, that I think was the first time that we were truly hanging out with anyone and everyone as a couple. And that gave me so much happiness. I made sure I met everyone. I made sure that I really soaked that in. Um, but I think we took our time with telling people, not only because we thought the reaction would necessarily be adverse. I think we ourselves wanted to just be in a comfortable, confident position, with respect to our careers. We just, if at all there is a backlash, and not to say that people made us feel that there will be a backlash, but if at all 1% chance there is a backlash, we just wanted to make sure that we're standing on firm footing with everything else in our life. And
Sure.
so I think we waited for a long time. I told my parents, I think in 2020, and they were they were very happy for us. In fact, the first thing my father told me was, why did you tell Utkarsh's parents first? You should have told us same time as you told them. So of course this was all in my head, this fear, this apprehension.
Yeah.
And I think it helped the fact that we really have grown up together. I mean, we met when I was 18, Utkarsh was 20. This was in Hansraj College in Delhi University. And we've just been we've been a part of each other's lives. He would come over a lot. I would go to his place. I know his parents very well. His parents know me very well. So for them, it wasn't, some random man that I am with.
Yeah.
For them, it was Utkarsh, who they knew very well.
But let me actually bring your parents in, and then I'll come to Utkarsh and his sister Prajita. दिलीप एंड कुमुदिनी जी, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी कि जब कोटिया ने आपको बताया कि वन, आई एम गे, एंड उत्कर्ष इज नॉट माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड, ही इज एक्चुअली माय बॉयफ्रेंड और माय पार्टनर, तो आप इनिशियली अनकंफर्टेबल थे कि आपको पहले से ही एक इंस्टिंक्ट थी कि शायद ऐसा ही कुछ है? इट्स नॉट इजी फॉर जनरेशंस टू एक्सेप्ट चेंजेस दैट कम विद अदर जनरेशंस, तो कोई जजमेंट भी नहीं है अगर शुरू में थोड़ा सा एडजस्टमेंट का टाइम की जरूरत पड़ी? अब मैं दिलीप जी से शुरू करूंगी. दिलीप जी, आप बताइए.
इनफैक्ट व्हेन Ananya talked to us about this. So I was little bit, uh, upset uh, as to what he is saying. I could not understand the meaning of what he told me. So when I came to know the thing, then the first question which came in my mind was, so it's a natural thing. Why did not you tell all these things, all this to us earlier? So since I know about the subject a little bit, and it's quite a natural thing. So my reaction was, in fact, not that what you are doing, but why did not you tell it to us earlier?
And Kumudini, did you feel the same, or did you feel upset also in the way that your husband did कि भाई हमें पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? आप upset थी? आपको पहले से एक instinct थी कि ऐसा ही है?
नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं था कि इंस्टिंक्ट थी कि ऐसा ही है, लेकिन ये था कि इन दोनों की बॉन्डिंग बहुत ही ज़्यादा शुरू से रही है, और जब से ये लोग कॉलेज में साथ आए हैं तब से इनका था. तो जब अनन्या ने बताया तो मेरे को तो अच्छा ही लगा, और मेरे को लगा कि हाँ, उत्कर्ष को हम इतना समय से जानते हैं, इससे अच्छा और क्या हो सकता है. और मैंने उससे यही कहा, बेटा इतने साल आप इतने टेंशन में क्यों रहे? आपको बात करना चाहिए था, बता देना चाहिए था बेटा कि हम लोगों के लिए एक्सेप्टेबल है। उत्कर्ष तो उत्कर्ष से अच्छा लड़का हम लोग कहाँ और देख सकते हैं। इन दोनों की बॉन्डिंग इतनी अच्छी है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग इतनी अच्छी है। और उत्कर्ष को हमने छुटपन से घर में हर हालत में देखा है। दोनों जने साथ बड़े हुए हैं, साथ पले हैं, एक ही घर में। यहाँ ये रहता था, वहाँ वो रहे। अनन्या उत्कर्ष के यहाँ जाता था, वहाँ पे उसके पेरेंट्स इतने सपोर्टिव थे। तो कहीं ऐसा लगा नहीं कि मतलब ये कोई जो है ये क्यों हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है। बस एक यही था कि तुमने इतने साल इतनी टेंशन क्यों बिताई अपने सर में लेकर के। बता देते पहले तो शायद तुम और खुश अच्छे से आसानी से रह सकते।
I would like to add one thing, if you know,
जी
Bhartaji.
जी
In fact, on the same day, I talked to the father of Utkarsh also, and just to know about whether he knows it or not. So he also came to know more or less at the same time. So, but I was so happy to know that Utkarsh father and Utkarsh mother lives in US. So they were equally happy and they were with us. So uh, both sides, both parents uh, are taking it in a very normal manner and in a happy manner. It also gives me a great, I mean, satisfaction. And Aparajita sister, Utkar's sister, she is already here.
Yes, I'm going to talk to her in a minute, but she's closer to our age, so her response would not sort of fill me with the kind of warm feeling that yours does. क्योंकि दिलीप और कुमुदनी जी, वो हमारी जो समाज है ना, उसमें सबसे पहले बहुत से पेरेंट्स हैं, वो कहते हैं भाई लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग क्या कहेंगे। ठीक है, हमारे घर में एक डोंट आस्क डोंट टेल पॉलिसी भी होती है कि भाई ठीक है, चार दीवारों के बीच में हम जानते हैं, किसी और को मत बोलना। कभी आप दोनों में से किसी ने सोचा कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, दिलीप एंड कुमुदिनी जी?
कभी नहीं आया दिमाग में कभी नहीं। उन लोगों की खुशी के लिए मतलब ये चीज तो बहुत दूर की बात है।
देखिए, लोग तो नेचुरली हमारी सोसाइटी जो इस समय है, इस स्टेज में है, ठीक है, मॉडर्निटी की तरफ आई है, बहुत सारे प्रोग्रेसिव स्टेप्स हुए हैं, बट स्टिल इट्स ए लॉन्ग वे टू गो. तो बट द क्वेश्चन इज, आई मीन, वी हैव ए फैमिली, वी हैव आवर सन एंड डॉटर, वी हैव आवर लाइफ. So to a very limited extent only we will bother for others view on that, others reaction on that. So long as Utkarsh and Ananya are happy, we don't want any other thing.
Can you talk a little bit about, before the sheer relief of having your families know and welcome it, what it felt like for you to live with this as a secret? We heard from Kotya, but I've been talking to other petitioners. They've spoken about how ghar nahi milta, renting is difficult. Those who have foreign partners who are foreign citizens, there are people who got married abroad and they cease to be spouses once they reach India. So talk a little bit about that, Utkarsh, before I bring in your sister.
I look at my life as like a pre-Kotia phase and a post-Kotia phase. I think the fact that I was growing up single and queer, especially as a kid in India, my father was in the military, so I grew up in a pretty hypermasculine setting. I went to an all-boys school. I was a criminal lawyer, which is also a slightly hypermasculine space. And it was incredibly depressing. We were very despondent. I didn't think there would be any happiness in my life. I felt like someone had made a giant mistake, made the world a certain way and made me the other way. And I always wondered, why was I working hard? I was a good student, but I didn't see the point of studying because it just felt so pointless, because there was so much phobia and mockery and ridicule and hate around me. And I was just constantly fearing abandonment. My childhood was a lot about the day people find out about who I am, they're going to abandon me and leave me. And that's, for a 13, 14-year-old to go through when you're that fragile, is debilitating. It consumes you. It's depressing. There was no language around mental health at the time, but I was probably depressed, but I had no one to go to and I was by myself. So those years were very painful and very difficult. And then I think the fact that I met Kotya, and I was lucky I met him when I was so young and we've been together for 20 years, just became a kind of support system for me, that those anxieties went away a little bit. I felt like even if the world was never with us, at least I would have Kotya with me.